Of course, as the boys just alluded to, we watched the 2014 film Our RoboCop Remake, which was a case request by Mr. T. Thank you for the request. Tanner, do you want to give the honors of giving us the synopsis of this film?
Dude, sure. Do you guys remember RoboCop?
Yeah, I remember RoboCop.
It's the same plot, except
worse.
You know, it's
Worse.
They divide it up between a bunch of different filmmakers and give them all a chance to do their own take on the different scenes and whatever.
To really strut their stuff.
Oh yeah. Fun fact. Most of the filmmakers had worked on another movie together called Our Footloose remake.
Looks like we gotta watch that one next. Mr. PT, you know who you are. You gotta request it.
Okay, guys, I think I speak for all of us when I say, Tanner, fuck you. This shit was bullshit. It was barely even qualifies as a film. I hesitate to call it one. Die, 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 die.
I disagree.
I slightly disagree. Jackson, please tell us how you agree with Nico.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean,
do you think this one, like, do you think it makes sense that we watch it and are reviewing it, I suppose?
I think this is the least movie we've seen so far.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even out of fucking Who Killed Captain Alex?
Yeah. Because that was like a full-fledged like original story they were trying to do. This is just a bunch of comedy skits trying to go along with the plot of some movie. So like there is a through line keeping it together, but a lot of it is very not part of that through line. They just go into fucking total non sequiturs a lot with like inside bits and shit. I'm like I'd say sure. I think it's close enough, but I'm still. I don't like the movie. Let me fucking get that across here too. I'm not a fan of it, but I could understand why it passes.
Well, there you go, Nico. 3 versus 1. This one is kind of weird for me to review, just because like I feel the way that I evaluate it is I like
you look and go, oh, that was funny.
No, I don't look, like, instead of looking at the whole thing and how it all works together, I feel like I look at each scene individually, say, oh, how, like, well-made or entertaining was that scene, and then kind of average them all out across each other.
That's literally what I fucking told you how you should rank this movie.
There you go. And, it vacillates wildly. Like, the absolute worst versions of scenes is where it is just beat for beat exactly the same as the original, but like with bad costumes and like fart jokes or whatever. Then you have like, instead of being beat for beat, they actually change up the dialogue and throw some okay jokes in it. Then you got like stuff that took some effort to do, you know? Like I think of like, I don't know, like the Muppet scene or whatever. It's still 1 for 1, but like they actually had to do something. Then you got, like, things that took, like, a high amount of effort, like
where they did an interpretive dance.
Yeah, the interpretive dance, stuff like that. And then, at the very top, you have the rapist scene, which is the greatest thing ever put to cinema.
Would you like to elaborate slightly upon that?
What do you
Sounds a little sketch when you word it like that.
We've all seen Irreversible. We know what he's talking about.
I mean, yeah, you know, listen, I got to clown on you guys for shitting on Star Wars last week, so this week is your turn to clown on me for loving this fucking movie.
In clown we shall. This movie fucking sucks. As I said before, I barely can consider it a film whatsoever. Most of it is just incredibly unfunny skits with the occasional good ones sprinkled in there in between, or somewhere it's like, oh, that was a very creative decision that they decided to go with it. Like the aforementioned, like, interpretive dance, or like...
What ones would you say you did, like, actually like?
So there's the interpretive dance one that I liked. There was another sort of, like, dance one later in the film. I don't remember what exactly.
When he's shooting the baby food jars?
Yeah. That's the one. I like that one too. There was the one where it was like they just fucking took like the scene of the movie where the guys like get the big gun and they're gonna just like go kind of crazy on the street, but then they like keep layering other scenes over it, which I thought was fun. And that was it for the most part, I would say, for me.
Well, what about the rapist scene? Come on.
It's fine.
Oh my gosh. What about the doll scene?
Which one was that? Like the Playmobil one?
The one at the ending where, the car goes in the pit and they're singing and they're dolls.
Oh, that was okay.
What about the, what I'm gonna dub the YouTube poop scene? Where the guy gets melted by the acid and then fucking it starts going crazy.
That was also fine.
Okay. What about the scene where the lawyer interrupts the scene to hand us, the audience, a cease and desist letter?
Again, that was an okay scene. Most of these scenes were okay to terrible. Generally, it leaned into the terrible, and I didn't think they were funny at all. It was a lot of just like, they were just trying to do the scene, but they're like, we only have like 30 seconds to make this scene memorable. What do we do when there's nothing that really happens in it? Ooh, let's have RoboCop walk weird. Wouldn't that be silly?
Let's have him fart.
Yeah, it was just shit like that.
Very true, I agree.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton to say about this movie. Per usual with our comedy reviews, it really is just, haha, that scene was funny, haha, except this time the scenes are all like, and they're not non sequiturs, but they're non sequiturs, you know what I mean? They're all their own
Right.
segregated thing. I don't think this works as an actual movie. I think it's like a funny art project, I guess. Again, there's a through line, so I guess it works as a movie maybe, but this would be probably like total dog shit if you haven't seen anything about RoboCop. And I've seen RoboCop, and I still thought it was kind of total dog shit. There are definitely some scenes that were funny, but yeah, most of them are very unfunny. It dragged on for a while. Yeah, not a fan of this one.
Yeah, I guess, like, let's look at this as, like, what if, like, RoboCop was not a thing, and we were instead, like, looking at a film that was just, like, it was, like, some plot, but, like, it had a bunch of different, like, directors or whatever, like, come together to try and stitch something together. Like, how would you fucking evaluate something like that?
I don't know. I will say, I don't actually find this funny at all, because I don't really care that much about RoboCop as a franchise, but they're definitely leaning into a lot of, like, the RoboCop bits, so I'm sure if you like RoboCop and you're into that thing, that would add a lot of comedy value to you. Like, fucking Tanner, I'm sure, has a lot of plus points towards the movie because he's into that, and he caught a lot more references they're doing than I was. Like, I heard him say, I'd buy that for $1 all the fucking time. But I'm sure there's a lot more going on than just some of those.
Yeah, that life in the big city, they say a couple times. Stuff like that.
By the way, guys, I would like to just say I'm really proud of us. After Jackson said into that thing, none of us made a Hawk Tuah joke. I think that we're much better than any other sort of like group of white boys who would come together and would obviously try and make some sort of a Hawk Tuah joke out of that. We're so
I feel
much
like
better.
you drawing attention to it completely like undermines the fact we didn't.
That's
do that.
the joke!
God.
I A, wasn't paying attention, and B, am not degenerative enough to do that, and C, would not have thought of that, so...
Dylan has muscular tissue.
Yeah, what do you fucking mean degenerative enough?
The fact that we are degenerates.
That's not how you use that word, though.
I use the English language how I please, get over it.
For sure, dude, your brain's degenerative.
I didn't say my... You know what, whatever. I didn't...
Well, Dylan, what were your thoughts?
What thoughts are there to be had, dude? I can't elaborate on a
There you
movie
go.
that we've already watched.
Did you think some of it was funny?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought it was insanely hilarious how more effort and what seemed... I can't even say budget, because this was clearly different. I can't say that sentence that way. This was obviously made by multiple different groups of people. I just still thought it was absolutely insane how much more effort went into making the fucking dick shooting scene. That shit was funny. I was like, I think it's funny that as low production like the rest of this movie is, that one scene is the highest quality out of all of it. It's not even particularly the easiest to watch.
I think it's very easy to watch. I can watch that shit. That will never not make me laugh. It is impossible.
Oh, you were cackling. You were dying at that scene.
Dude, every time I watch that scene. And it always hits at the same moment. When I start going into my hard cackle, it always hits when it goes to, like, the side close-up of him with the gun, and he does the 3-round burst for the first time. The second I see that, I start dying of laughter, just because... I think it's just because, like, that is such an escalation of force, like, just in that single moment. And also, guns are funny, as I've said many times.
Of course.
You know what scene's funny when Tanner shows it to us, like, probably 2 years before we watch the fucking movie.
Yeah, completely out of context.
Well, boys, I think that we can rank this movie. Tanner, what did you rank it so we can start off high?
I don't like where this is
Now
going.
listen, guys.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
Listen, I recognize that I'm wrong. Blah, 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 blah. I love this movie. I'm very biased. This movie is on par with the actual
There's no
RoboCop to
fucking
me,
way.
so I am putting it at an S-.
Insane. In the membrane. I'm giving a fucking D. Dylan, how about you?
Hey, that's my name. Yeah, I mean, I don't recognize this as good as, RoboCop. I do like to recognize a passion project, I guess. I'm not taking this movie seriously in any regard, so I can appreciate it for something people wanted to come together and, just make. So just for that alone, I gave it a B-.
And personally, I gave this shit a D-. The only reason this isn't an F-tier film for me is just because I kind of respect what they're doing and I like the idea. I think the execution did not work out properly at all. There are some funny scenes, but yeah, this is a rough one. And it lands, of course, at a C+ overall.
Damn.
Whoa.
That's so high.
Oh yeah.
Not really.
Dude, the rapist scene alone means it can't be below C tier. Come on.
I did actually have a question about like the budget split and profits of this movie. I'm curious how that works. Was this all like
I imagine there were no profits. I don't think they sold this. I don't think they legally could sell this in any capacity.
Yeah, probably not.
Dude, it's transformative. It's parody.
Some of the scenes definitely seem like they took a probably decent budget just for like hiring actors and like setting up some scenes and shit. So like it's just crazy for me to think that people would just like dump probably like tens of thousands of dollars, probably like over $100,000 total into.
I think it was truly just
a passion project.
a passion project.
It's so,
and a lot of these people are like established like independent film people.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, all I was gonna say is it could literally be like, hey, we're looking for people. If you like RoboCop, we're not gonna make money off of this, but if you'd like to be in like some group, like project, passion project, go ahead and hop on over here is probably, I imagine, how they pitched it.
It's cool seeing some wise kids, people in there too, especially the one that died. Love that guy.
Yeah.
One that died, what?
Yeah, he took too much PCP, a gallon of it.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like too much.
I didn't even know it came in liquid form. Anyway.
I don't know what PCP is.